What's up, everybody? This is your man Politic with Politic TV. I'm doing another video on the Duck Dynasty star Phil Robertson. This time I'm going to be discussing if Phil Robertson is a racist. Now, looking at the headlines, you know, the first part of this was him talking about gay marriage and him being a Christian and professing his faith, which I did do a video on. I've been getting a lot of views and responses to it. The second part of this is that he did make some comments about black people. And I'm going to go ahead and read those out just because if you haven't heard them, you probably need to hear them. If you have heard them, then you know what I'm talking about. He said, I never with my eyes saw the mistreatment of any black person, not once. Robertson told the magazine, referring to his time growing up in the 1950s and 1960s in Louisiana. Where we live was all farmers. The blacks worked for the farmers. I hoed cotton with them. I'm with the blacks because we were white trash. We were going across the field. They were singing and happy. He continued, I never heard one black person say, I tell you what, these doggone white people. Not a word. Pre-entitlement, pre-welfare, you say, were they happy? They were godly. They were happy. And no one was singing the blues. So Al Sharpton has spoke out against this, and you know the NAACP has spoke out against this, and they said that he doesn't have any authority on white people, and he shouldn't lower down the black race, and he doesn't know what to talk about. Okay, let's look at this guy. This is Phil Robertson, Duck Dynasty. He lives out in the country, not in the cities and dealing with all the stuff. He might have heard some news and stuff like that. But, I mean, he was just working, taking care of himself. So he worked alongside with black people. He didn't have any really prejudice against them. He just said that he didn't see any mistreatment, and he didn't see black people talking about white people in a negative manner. Well, for one, that should say a lot about black people at that time. They worked alongside with the white guy. They didn't have any beef against white people. They didn't have any prejudice against white people. And he didn't feel like black people, were bad people. He obviously sees them as decent people if they didn't talk about them. And the other thing is that, yes, he is white, and he was just telling his story as a human being about how he worked along black people and that he didn't see anything going wrong. Now, he talks about welfare and says pre-entitlement, and, I mean, come on. I don't want to talk on the food stamp issue too much. I've been unemployed and I've received food stamps. I didn't have any income. I was on unemployment. I got laid off from my job. And I got food stamps. It's a time where I actually needed food stamps. I wasn't really making a lot of money and I was looking for another job. In that sense, food stamps were good. Or I would have had to, maybe find borrow the money. I put in numerous applications. I wasn't getting a job. So the point is, eventually I got a job and I started working. And once I started working, I stopped the food stamps. I didn't need them anymore. I wasn't hurt. I went and bought my own groceries. I'm a man. That's what I'm supposed to do. Welfare can help or hinder. Because the thing is that most people I've seen on welfare stay on welfare for a very long time. Now, I am from the hood of Southern California. I've seen things firsthand. I've lived in a hostile environment. But I've seen all types of people, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, all on food stamps. And a lot of them get this mentality that food stamps is going to take care of them, the government's going to take care of them, they'll just get their check at the first of the month. And that's it. I mean, look at Bone Thugs and Harmony. It's the first of the month, wake up, wake up. They made a song about it, I mean, this was big. So I mean, and I would see people hustle people for their food stamps or buy their food stamps off of people. And I would see, people, they had the dollars, so they would go cash in their dollars for money so they could get other stuff. And, I'm not saying that every person on food stamps is wrong. But what I'm saying is that food stamps has given some people the mentality that they don't have to work for anything anymore. And that the government is just going to take care of them. Now, as Americans, we should have less government dependency and more freedom. That's what we want. The government wants us to be dependent on them so they can control us, like Obamacare, food stamps. If we start getting depending on them, then we're going to depend on them for everything. This is going to turn into communism real quick. So as Americans, we need to get off of our butts, and we need to work and take care of our families, just like everybody else does in the world. And this is not a black issue. This is an everybody issue. And, there are white people in trailer parks to get food stamps. There are black people to get food stamps, Hispanic people. Everybody, that has been in a lower income setting has gotten food stamps. And I think that people should man up or woman up and take care of their kids and make sure that their kids are provided for by using their brain and the skills that God has given them. The hands that we use to work, it comes out of our taxes and we pay for that. So, it can work in either way. If you're working and you're out of work, maybe you should get some type of food stamp program. Because if you're actively seeking work, as the Department of Labor tells you to seek work when you're unemployed, maybe you should get it. And, maybe, if you have some kids and you can't take care of them and you go to the government, maybe they give you a position. In California, I've seen people that actually work to get their government assistance. And that makes sense because it gives them a trade, gives them something to do. And, eventually, hopefully they get a job and they were able to take care of themselves. And maybe they get a little less aid. But the thing is that some people just do not work and they just get government aid. Now, for disabled people and different people, that's fine. I can understand that. But for people that are able-bodied and that are able to work, they either work for the government and get their stamps, but they shouldn't be just allowed to sit at home and just, make money off of us, because we're the ones getting taxed. And since we're the ones getting taxed, the other thing that I want to say is that we run the government. They take taxes out of our money and we fund them. So we have a responsibility to take ownership of this situation and to rally for the things that we want as Americans instead of being divided over social issues. We're Americans, and we need to focus on the well-being and the welfare of this country. So I do not think Phil Robertson is a racist. I do not feel like he spoke out against black people. I don't feel like he degraded black people. I'm partially black. So I don't find any offense. He just talked about his experiences, and he didn't see anything that was wrong about black people, and he just said they were happy and, that they worked and, they were God-fearing people, which are positive things. So I'm not offended, and I don't think Phil Robertson's a racist, and I don't think that you should think Phil Robertson's a racist. Again, with these videos, if you want to have an intelligent conversation, please comment below, and I will respond, and we can talk intelligently. Now, if you just want to spew, insults and stuff like that, then you can spew your insults. You have every right to. I'm not going to delete them or anything. You do what you got to do. But that's it. So this is your man Politic. Again, I do Christian hip hop music. You can check me out at Politic Music on YouTube. You can subscribe, check it out, tell me what you think. You can also check me out at reverbnation.com/politic. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to you later. Bye.